So kind of maybe in the next 5 or 10 years, I mean, where do you see this technology going, if anywhere? I mean, do you see, publicly traded companies leveraging this, or do they kind of abandoning it, or kind of full steam ahead?
Well, I think you're going to see, maybe three different threads. One thread will be the boring thread, where people just say, hey, blockchain is a great way to keep track of information, or transactions. And that I think you'll see lots and lots of private blockchains that are going to be out there all over society. And you probably don't even know that they're there, because they won't necessarily be a competitive advantage. They won't be consumer facing. They'll just be, the part of the engine that runs the machine. So I think that will happen all over the place, and that that will just be part of the toolkit that people use to to run the world. The second one has to do with finance, and I think you probably will see an international coin-based system. Right now, of course, Facebook wants to launch Libra, which is moving forward, although without all the supporters that originally had. So there's one private sector system. It'll be interesting to see whether that works. I mean, they certainly have a big enough network, billions of people. It's not a network that historically has been transactional, so it isn't like, PayPal or eBay or something like that. It's primarily been ad-based, not transactional based. So, that's sort of maybe not the best test, because it may be that the platform isn't really ideal for, a global coin-based system, but, it'll be interesting to watch. Then you'll see the banks, which I think will have at some point, and they are working on it, a coin-based system. There may be national systems. Venezuela talked about one, Russia talked about one, Iran talked about one. None of them has launched one yet that's been, actually in practice. I don't know whether that'll happen. That's more of a political rather than an economic, issue. I think you'll continue to have the Bitcoin world, but to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense for there to be thousands of coins. It seems more likely that it would consolidate into a limited, number of coins. In the nonprofit world, there's some very interesting work being done. For example, the Gates Foundation has provided a lot of funding behind what's now a client of mine called Mojaloop. And the idea behind Mojaloop is that if you look at the emerging world, you have literally billions of people that don't have a bank account. They don't have a way to pay for anything other than, cash. And that means also locally. And the concept of a blockchain where they could link into a coin-based system and have the equivalent of a bank account at no cost and be able to transact across the world is something that was actually part of the very early vision. I mean, if you go back to 2009, I mean, some of the things that people talked about very shortly after Nakamoto introduced the white paper was one of the first, use cases was bringing the financial world to the unbanked of the world. And here we are, 11 years later, now that's actually happening with Mojaloop. Another client called Interledger is doing something similar. So the nonprofit world has sort of jumped on the bandwagon.